nothing at all. Alrighty. Well, hi love bugs. So I'm back and I figured this video, even though I'm not alone, which I rarely am anyway, but I figured I would do this video as my official introduction video to just let you guys know who I am. Yeah, that's about it. Like who I am, I guess a little bit about myself, how I became this little girl's mom, and just start from there. So, oh, excuse me, ma'am. Harley loves Minnie Mouse and Mickey Mouse, if you guys can't tell. Get that out your mouth. Okay, so where do I begin? I guess starting off with, who am I? Oh, stop. Out your mouth. Out your mouth. Yeah, out your mouth. This is gonna be a little stressful. Okay, where was I? I lost my train of thought. I guess, who am I? So my name is Malika. I am, what am I, 21. I am a Pisces. My birthday is March 19th, so I'll be 22 this upcoming year. I am a young mom. I got pregnant when I was 18. Right when I was getting ready to, right before, hey, you and all your rattling. Right before I graduated high school, I found out that I was pregnant with Harley. And I was actually 17 at the time that I got pregnant. I was 18 when I found out that I was pregnant, and then I gave birth at 18. And so I was a teen mom. Like I said, I became a mom as an 18-year-old. And it was definitely, I guess, becoming a mom was a challenge. Not necessarily a challenge in the sense of like, oh, girl, oh my God, like what am I gonna do? But more so in the challenge of my plans for life have changed. So before I got pregnant with Harley, I definitely had plans of going to school. I had plans of going straight to school from after graduating. From high school, I had plans of going to college. Plans of going to school, becoming a lawyer, living my best life in college. My main thing was really to like get away from that, because I've never really been anywhere, so I definitely wanted to go somewhere that was out of state, that was far, but not far enough, but not too far to the point where if I ever got homesick, which I rarely do, but if I ever got homesick, that I was able to come home when I wanted to. But all of that changed when I got, found out that I was pregnant with Harley, and I made the decision that I was going to keep her. And I, say like I don't regret keeping my child at all, not in the slightest bit. Because I feel like if you're grown enough to lay in a bed with somebody and open your legs, that's male or female, then you're grown enough to accept the responsibilities that come, from having sex. So that's children, STDs, whatever the case may or may not be. But I felt like, not have my child to go through an abortion to kill, the innocent being inside of my stomach wasn't fair to her, because I wanted to be irresponsible, because me and her dad were irresponsible, and that, we weren't doing, what we should have been doing to, make sure that she didn't happen. But nonetheless, that's neither here nor there. So, I made the decision to keep Harley, and it's been the best decision of my life. Like I said, I wouldn't regret it. People have asked me quite often, if I could change things, if I could have her, if I could, do it all over again, would I still keep her? And it is definitely like, would I have liked to have had her later in life? Yes, but If I can't guarantee that I would get the same exact child, then I'm not willing to do it. I would do it all over again. Like, I'm not willing to change anything if I couldn't guarantee that I would get her back the same way, you know, that I have her now. So, you know, fast forward, I graduated from high school. I was about give or take about four or 5 months pregnant when I graduated. So I wasn't really showing at the time of graduation, but like I said, I wasn't really hiding it or anything like that. Like, it wasn't an embarrassment or anything like that to me. It just was what it was. But I wasn't really showing. I probably didn't really start showing with Harley until I was about 6 months pregnant with her. But I graduated, and I had been accepted into a couple of schools at the time. You know, because you graduate in May and you go back to school, you know, at the end of August or whatever. And so I had been accepted into a couple of different schools. And, you know, I feel like everything works out for the best. Like, God puts everything in place for a reason, because the one school that I really wanted to go to, I had missed application deadline. I had, like, submitted my stuff late. And this is before I found out that I was pregnant with Harley. So I ended up not getting into the school that I wanted to go to. And all the other schools that I got into, like, I got in with flying colors, like scholarships and all that, but they weren't places that I wanted to go. So, you know, finding out that I was pregnant with Harley, I ended up deciding, I sat down, had a conversation with my mom and stuff like that. I was trying to figure out whether or not if I was gonna go to school during my pregnancy. And so it was kind of like I had been, accepted into schools that were close, but they weren't really too close. They're about an hour and a half out, and I live in Maryland. So the closest school, in Maryland where I live, the closest school to me was Bowie, but I didn't want to go to Bowie, and I hadn't applied to Bowie. So I had got accepted, like, one of the schools I got accepted into was Eastern Shore. And so I was, give me that. So Eastern Shore was one of the schools that I was looking at, and I, was kind of accepted going there, even though I really didn't want to. But after, talking to my mom and kind of like sitting down and even talking to my boyfriend, we all came to the conclusion that it was best that I didn't go to school during my pregnancy, just because, for like multiple reasons. But the main reasons were just that, for one, having to go back and forth, like, it would have been far away. Like, it wasn't a close drive. Like maybe 45 minutes to an hour out, which isn't too far, but not having a car. And I'm a late bloomer. Like, I didn't get my license and stuff till I was 19, 20. Anyway, I literally have only had my license for a year. Not even a year. It'll be a year this September. But anyway, not having a car, and being a freshman, you can't have a car on campus anyway. But not having a car, so that means I would have had to, go to doctors or whatever out there, or have to find some source of transportation to get to and from my appointments. That was one thing. Having, I had already had an OB down, near me at my home. So that means I would have had to switch doctors, or I would have had to come all the way down, back home for every appointment. And of course, as you get closer to delivery, you're supposed to be seen, every week, every 2 weeks, so on and so forth. So that was another thing. And the main thing was kind of like, if something was to ever happen to me up there, it would take, a minute for somebody to get to me. Like, if I went into labor, at any time, like, it would have been a minute for somebody to get to me. And that was kind of like the final thing that we kind of decided, because I was due to have Harley. She was supposed to be due December 5th. Which would have been right around Christmas time, which would have been Christmas break anyway. So I guess that would have been fine. But it was just too iffy, and we just decided not to. And then I would have had to go back to school through the semester after, and we just weren't doing all of that. So I actually deferred my enrollment year. So I took a year off. Yeah, I graduated in 2015. Yeah, so I took a whole year off. That was to deliver Harley, go through my pregnancy, deliver Harley, and else be able to spend time and bond with her and things like that. So I did that. I took my year off. My entire pregnancy with Harley, I didn't go to school. I didn't work. I really didn't do anything. I was really just staying. Like, I was at home my entire pregnancy with Harley. Like, of course, I went out and stuff with the friends that I did still have. Like, I actually did, I cut off a lot of, stop. She's trying to put the phone case back on my phone. I didn't have a lot, like I cut off a lot of friendships that I, sorry y'all, my phone rang. But, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I cut like a lot of, not a lot, because I didn't really have many friends to begin with. But, I cut a couple people off, when I found out that I was pregnant with Harley. And I wouldn't even say necessarily cut a lot of people off, because I was that female that hung out with mostly dudes, not because I was like a thought it had like endless bodies or whatever, but just because like I prefer to hang out with dudes than I do females. And so, me and my dude friends, we was all comfortable and stuff, and not that anything was weird or anything like that when they found out I was pregnant, but it was just not that I was hanging out with like anything type of people, but it was just something that I was like, like I don't really, like this is not my crowd. Like the stuff that we were doing wasn't something that I wanted to be doing while I was pregnant. Being out all night or whatever. It just wasn't, what I was about like during my pregnancy. So I did actually disconnect with a lot of people. And like I don't regret it. Like if I was to see them, it would be hey, what's up? But it's, it's no hard feelings or anything like that. It's just, you decide, you kind of grow up when you find out that you're pregnant, or you have to, your life changes when you bring a life into the world. So, yeah, I kind of like lost a couple of friendships, or I ended a couple of friendships, but the ones that I did decide to, still associate with or still hang with, we were good. Like I said, I did go out with them sometimes. But my entire pregnancy with Harley wasn't really nothing too major. So I lived at home probably until I was about 7, 8, 7, yeah, we'll say 7. About 7.5, 8, going on 8 months. And then I kind of like slowly but surely started moving into my boyfriend's house with him and his mom. So slowly but surely I started moving into there, and we kind of decided that we would stay at his mom's house for like the first 6 weeks, like my 6 weeks my 6-week postpartum, with Harley for like recovery, and because like to stay, like I said, I'm a late bloomer, so at this point I'm 18, like I still wasn't driving, and my boyfriend, he was working right across the street from his mom's place, so to go all the way down out, like he was living in Crofton, and I lived all the way out in Fordsville, so to go all the way out to Fordsville, for him to have to come all the way up here to Crofton to go to work, and he worked the graveyard shift, so he was working at 3 a.m. It just wasn't about to happen. So I moved in with them. Was only supposed to be there for 6 weeks, and I have yet to leave. So I've literally been with them 3 years almost. Yeah, 3 years. I'm going on 4. Yes, my daughter will be 3 in November, and I moved in right before she was born. Yeah, so yep, about 4 years. We're going on 4 years, and I have not left yet. And so, I ended up moving in, been here ever since we actually just moved. So, been with them ever since. And I, finally got myself together, finally got myself into school and got a job. And here we are 3 years later, roughly, and now we're currently expecting our second child. We're having a little boy. If you haven't seen our gender reveal video, it's go ahead and check that out. It was like mad crazy. Just exciting, like not crazy in a bad way, but just crazy. Like it was really exciting because we wanted a boy because we have a girl, and so to finally like be able to say like, yeah, we got one of each, like we can be done is lit. What are you? Can I have that, please? Can I have it? No, get in my hand. Baby, nothing. Thank you. So yeah, so you guys definitely check that out. But yeah, so you know, I don't really do too much. I'm really simple. I don't really go out. I don't really care to go out. I'm not really a social person. Like I really used to be. I used to be very sociable. And I think after I got pregnant, that all went out the window. It all went down the drain. Like being social was not my thing anymore. Like I'd much rather just stay in the house. But that's, I mean, that's, oh my gosh, excuse me, like I have like some real gas bubbles or something like going on. I don't understand what it is. Yeah, but I mean that's about it. Like I said, we're excited about, you know, our newest addition. About our newest addition. Honestly, this one wasn't planned either. Not even gonna lie to y'all, like this one was not planned either. He was not planned, but a blessing nonetheless. And we're excited. I told him that I needed to, like, I didn't want to have more than a 5-year gap between Harley and our second child, but 3 years is not what I was going for either. So yeah, it's real rough. But we are definitely taking it one step at a time. You know, doing what we're doing. We have a really, really amazing support system. You know, we had one with Harley. We have the same one now. And we're excited. We are excited to bring, you know, baby boy into the world, and for Harley to have a new sibling, or her first sibling. Not a new one, but for her to have a sibling, period. And just see how she reacts to it. And I definitely plan to get a like full-fledged introduction video of my double baby daddy. What I call him, because you know he got me knocked up twice. But my double baby daddy, I plan to get an introduction for him, just so you guys can meet him, and then like a full one for Harley, who you guys will more than likely see all the time because she's attached to my hip. And I actually do like I think I'll do like a little slight introduction video for her, and then actually do like a actual how it was raising a toddler, like how it was raising Harley, being, you know, 18 and, you know, not working, not going to school, that kind of thing. But other than that, that's it. This is just, you know, my introduction video. I hope you guys, oh my god, like what are you doing? I hope you guys continue to watch as the journey continues on. It will only get crazier from here. I guarantee that. I guarantee you it would only get crazier from here. But don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, you guys. If there's any videos in particular that you guys want to see, any information you guys want to know, any questions that you all have, please feel free to leave them. Drop a comment. I will do my best to get back to you all. And then hopefully we will go from there. Alrighty, well, I will talk to you all later. Harley, get your hands out of my hair, please. Harley, you say bye-bye? You say bye? No. Yeah, okay. Alrighty, well, I will talk to you all later. Say see you in the next video. Say see ya.
Mommy sings.